Good morning, Philadelphia, and all of the ships at sea. This is your girl Amber E with the piping hot tea. This is my tea. What's yours? Again, good morning, Philadelphia. It's your bad self. You better go ahead. I'm not even mad at you. You know I'm going to always come in to sing your praises. And here's what I'm going to say to you, my members of the AmFam. You did the last full week, of July splendidly. I don't know all the details. Honey, I wasn't there. I just know that I'm right. And so I'm giving you your props and raising a cup of tea to you to let you know however you went about navigating your week, whomever you conversed with, however you set something up, brought something down, cooked something, made something. Remember to breathe, enjoyed the exhale, and had what is called in il dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing moment. I am so proud of you. Really, I am so proud of you. My inner educator is saluting you today because really, as the summer winds down, and really, I don't know where the summer went. Where did the summer go? Where did the summer go, y'all? Really, as we get closer and closer to the end of the summer, now really is the time to embrace the quiet moments. I don't know about you, Philadelphia, especially for those of you who know that I prefer winter to summertime. You know I'm a summer baby born in June. And again, thanks for all the birthday shout-outs now last month. I really do love the fall and the winter. So I don't know about you, but these crisp moments we've had the last couple of days where it's in the 60s, oh, it is hitting all the right notes in me, and I ain't complaining one bit. Really, can you believe that the summer is almost over? This time next week is going to be August 1st. How did that happen? I know how it happened, but goodness gracious, it's not that the summer went by too quickly. And maybe it's just me, but it does kind of feel like time has accelerated a lot faster these days. But really, the summer's gone by so quickly. Maybe it's also that, you know, as an educator, I'm very well aware of the fact that, and I know that my fellow educators may not want to hear this. I know the first time I heard it, like 2 weeks ago, I was a little like, really? We're going to go there? The school year is getting closer and closer, Philadelphia. I know it starts on August the 24th, and then that is the 2026-2027 school year starts on August the 24th, and it ends on June 10th, 2027, for anyone who cares to know. But the bottom line is, before we rush into any of that stuff, before we, get knocked into how we're going to go to professional development, remember what our why is as educators, or if, of course, you're outside of that world and you're just going, okay, kids are about to go back to school. Some of y'all going, thank God the kids are about to go back to school. Others of us are going, the kids are about to go back to school. Let me make sure that I'm on point. Whatever your wavelength is saying, I'm really trying to make paramount in these moments that it's okay to exhale. You know the funny thing about Western culture, especially here on the East Coast, the closer you get to New York, and shout out to all my family in New York and in Charlotte. Hey, Auntie, and my cousin who's in Virginia Beach, and my cousin who's in Atlanta, and my cousins who are in New Jersey, and my cousins who are here in Philly, and my cousin who is in California. Hey, everyone. What I will say is I get that all of us have different walks of life, but as I said on my show last week, really embracing the quiet moments with those that love you and that you get to love back makes such a difference. So if you don't mind, AmFam, let's take a collective woosah. I don't know about you. Again, Western culture, if we're not moving fast enough, then we don't have enough ambition. If we don't know what's happening every 5 seconds, because in today's culture, seconds take too long, the moments are what we're looking for. Collective woosah. In through the nose, out through the mouth with a woosah. Y'all saw Bad Boys too. You know what I'm talking about. Just a woosah. Man, I don't know about you, but I know that I needed that. So, in not only taking my deep breaths, but also taking my tea moment, today's tea, as you know, and quite frankly, I could have gone one of 2 ways with this. It is chilly enough. If I wanted to do a hot tea, I could have. But I'm still sticking with the iced tea because it is only going to be cool this morning. It is going to get warm again later on today. Ciao. I am actually doing a tea that I got from an actual formal tea that I spoke at earlier this summer. It was earlier in May. It's called a Kyoto Cherry Rose Sencha tea. And sencha tea is actually the most popular green tea in Japan. And what makes it really special is it's actually immediately steamed after harvesting to halt oxidation. And it's also very nutrient based. It's sun grown. Again, I when I was in college, we called they're called matcha teas now, but this is probably like about 20 years ago. I'm showing my age, but back when I was in college, we did green tea chai lattes back in the old days. Did I say that? It's all right. And people would go, that green tea, that's a little different. And again, we're fast forwarding 2 decades where it's very popular. Even a lavender matcha gets me in a good place during the week. But again, sencha tea is, like I said, grown in direct sunlight. Its leaves are harvested, steamed, and rolled into needle-like shapes and dried as loose leaves, as opposed to matcha, which is actually grown in the shade for about 3 weeks before it's harvested, and then that actually boosts the chlorophyll in it. Those leaves are then steamed, dried into tencha, deveined, and destemmed, and then ground to a fine powder. And quite frankly, it's something that I mentioned earlier this year, AmFam, but I'm going to have to wait until 2027 to do. At some point, I do want to attend a Japanese tea ceremony. And there is a Japanese tea house over near Fairmount Park. So if you do know, during the cherry blossom seasons where there's a lot of happenings going on, you can go. If you go to their website, they talk a lot about, etiquette. They will say you do not have to remove your shoes, or you don't have to remove your socks, but again, it's respecting the space, so on and so forth. And you'll find that matcha, the ground green tea that we're talking about, is paramount there. But 1 or 2 things to check off my list for today. It's a sencha blend, and I am, like I said, doing an iced tea with my spoons and whatnot and my ice. So first, because again I know how my sweeteners work, they're all at the bottom. Here we go, AmFam. Iced tea, spoons up. You ready? Because I'm ready. Round and round's a dreadful show. Oh, this smells so good because I'm getting all... Ooh, hold on, I'm sorry, guys. That's delightful. Round and round's a dreadful show. Back and forth is how we go. From 6 to 12 and back again. Back and forth to stay within. I'm sorry that I took a pause between now and the mantra, but oh my word. See, here's what I'm getting before I even drink this. I'm getting the rose of it. Again, it's a cherry rose green tea sencha blend. That rose is so pronounced. And the great thing about sencha tea, quite frankly, is that, as you know, with a lot of loose leaf teas, you can brew this more than once. Please reserve that bag. Don't go tossing that thing away like, is not high quality, because, child, that is too delicious. All I'm saying is I really intend to enjoy this tea moment. I hope whatever you are enjoying as well is tickling your fancy. So I'm getting my spoon. I'm getting my sugar. I'm getting my straw, because, I do like a good alliteration. I'm going to give you a topic for your tea moment. Here's your topic for your tea moment. There is something so beautiful about you just showing up and saying hello. Again, you, Y-O-U, AmFam. There is something so beautiful about you just showing up. Discuss, I'm right, but just, talk amongst yourselves. Put a little more ice in this. See how this goes. Oh, yes. I am so excited. Ooh! Let's just see this here, y'all. Oh my goodness, I think I may have a new favorite. I'm sorry, keep talking. You're fabulous. You already know that, but oh my Lord, I'm so tea happy. That's fabulous. I'm sorry, I'm adding a little more ice to this because it still is a little on the warm side, but golly gee, wow. Again, like I said, the rose is so paramount, but you know what else in this tea is delicious? That cherry is not sweet. It's such an aromatic that's laying not only on my palate, but it's now in my nostrils. This is so good. Oh my God, keep talking. You are amazing, and so is this tea. Not on the same wavelength, but yes, discuss. My golly gee, wow. Oh, I'm so glad I get to do this with you guys every single Saturday. As I was going to, no, I'll just say it now. As we get closer and closer to August, guess what, you guys? For those of you who do not know, July 28th, 2026 is going to mark the 1-year anniversary that Tea with Amber E has been on the air. And it started off, for those of you who don't know, for any new listeners of the AmFam, Tea with Amber E I actually started out as Tea Tuesdays with Amber, and shout out to Greg, the genius who designed my logo, and to Dr. Marriott Butler from Over the Goal Business Academy, Over the Goal Women's Business Academy, holla, who really encouraged this. Back when I was in social work, this is in between me being a teacher. This is back when the pandemic was driving everybody crazy and people were getting furloughed and the unemployment office had never seen anything like it, so on and so forth. And I'm working with my seniors who are trying to get public benefits and need to know who's on SSI, who needs more help with their prescription medication. You get the idea, so on and so forth. As much as I loved it, and still do that for that matter, it was also kind of tiring. And so my work day, once we went from the office on 15th and Market to being in our homes, and we were little by little going outside. You remember, even though it's been 6 years, wow. I started going to, a local coffee house here in Germantown, and just started doing lives. And quite frankly, believe it or not, I was super uncomfortable. Tea with Amber E was really me getting out of my comfort zone. But back when it was just Tea Tuesday, I'd buy my tea, I'd get a scone, and I'd sit and I'd do lives on Tuesday, because Tea Tuesday is actually something I observed back when I was living in Tulsa, Oklahoma. Shout out to Jason Rodriguez. Hey, J-Rod, love you, man. And so long short of it, as you all know, I've talked about this, especially during Juneteenth of this year. I my friend Sean talked to the people here at G-Town. That's how I wound up on the radio, so on and so forth. And as I was looking through my old videos on my YouTube channel, Tea with Amber E, I was like, wow, that very first episode of me being here in the studio, this girl is she's nervous out of her skull, and she's so bright-eyed and bushy-tailed, and really was kind of learning on the fly. Again, I had friends who were journalism majors. I love journalists. Joy Reid is one of my heroes, but at the same time, it was me having to find my own vibe. And I'm going to give a shout-out to someone who's watching and who's been a member of the AmFam since the very beginning. Hello, Auntie Natalie Mobley, who's watching this from Charlotte. I love you. Again, it would be things like, and we did this, and we did that, but it's always been encouraging. And as those numbers have continued to expand, it's just been so encouraging, and I'm so full of joy knowing that people have taken this journey with me. My dad, who passed away a couple of years ago, he used to say a lot. He used to say, never despise humble beginnings. And I guess it's for you, Daddy. I am so glad to say that, especially in the days where, like anyone trying something new or having anything business related or creative related, where you're going, okay, it went from being something that I tried to it's all right, and we'll see where it goes, to me really embracing my voice. I am just so glad that, and I'm glad I can say it on this side of time, because like I said, I was not voluntold to do Tea with Amber E, but it was really like, y'all want me to get on the radio? I thought I was going to do this when I was maybe like in my 70s and I'd have my own show on NPR. And that's a real story. But the bottom line of it, the long short of it, is that it really has been an amazing ride. So again, next week, July the 28th, is going to be the 1-year anniversary of Tea with Amber E here on Germantown Radio. I see Gary is watching. He is such an encourager. You need to listen to Gary Hines' show. If you need information on if you need someone who's just going to help you get in the right direction with a good consultant mind, just do it. Just say it. But all that to say, I am just so full of joy and gratitude for how I've been embraced here, not just by Gary, but by Tom, who is the station manager here. I'm giving y'all all your flowers, because the truth of the matter is, you took this girl you helped this girl, you helped this young woman who really wanted to say something, find her rhythm, find what made her happy, and take this thing I was just doing as a creative outlet on Tuesdays over at cafes in the area. And again, I am going to give a shout out, a quick one, to all of the places that embraced me back when it was just Tea Tuesday, to Ultimo, to, unfortunately it's no longer with us, to the Germantown Espresso Bar, oh my golly gee wow, to places like Malalani Cafe. I love you, Malalani Cafe. Places like that really were part of the beginning of my story, coming to this place. So here's cheers to all y'all. Thank you so much for supporting me here on Tea with Amber E. Another talk amongst yourselves. The tea is piping hot today, y'all, because we're not done yet. It's only 8:15. Discuss. This tea rocks! Oh my word. I had to get away from the camera, sorry. I had to get away from the mic because I knew that was loud. But oh my goodness. This tea is fabulous. Oh, again, for those who are just joining, it's a Kyoto Cherry Rose Sencha blend. The rose is delightful. The cherry is so sweet. Oh my word! I think, and I'm a black currant bergamot girl for life, but I think I'm gonna have a new favorite, child. Happy anniversary, AmFam. We did it. So let's go into this Philadelphia. How was your week? Because a lot happened. Was anybody surprised by a couple of things? Because a couple of things went down that kind of made me go, okay. First of all, I mean, let's just call it what it is. First of all, for those of you who do not know, and I'm going to go ahead and pull up this article on ESPN.com, actually. For those of you who do not know, LeBron James has picked the Philadelphia 76ers as quote-unquote a last decision to sign a 2-year, $8 million deal. Now, please keep in mind that King James, made nearly, according to this article on ESPN.com, made nearly $53 million with the LA Lakers last season. So that's definitely a jump. Again, LeBron James, I'm just going to read this. James, 41, is signing a 2-year, $8 million contract with a player option, Clutch Sports Group CEO Rich Paul told ESPN. In a series of posts on X, formerly Twitter. Ooh, be quiet, Siri. Sorry about that. James addressed his decision-making, writing that he initially thought he was done playing after the 2025-2026 season before taking time to decide on his future. He said, quote, "I was honest at that last press conference when I said I needed to look at myself and decide if I still love this game. After deciding, quote, I still truly love this game and I have more to give, he chose Philly's own 76ers, committing to a 4th NBA team as he searches for a 5th NBA championship before retirement. He hopes to break a 43-year championship drought for the 76ers, much the same way he erased a 52-year streak without a title for the city of Cleveland when he won a championship with the Cavaliers back in 2016. This will be his final free agent choice as he enters a record-breaking 24th season." And I'm going to say this last thing. Quote, he said, "This is my last decision. I'm not going for money. I'm not going for family. What I am really playing for at this point," he wrote on X, "I still want to sacrifice. I still want to work. I still want to grind. I still want to compete, to win, and to have a chance at the feeling of winning another championship. I believe I can help make the Philadelphia 76ers a championship team, and I am so excited to energize a new fan base and start this incredible journey one last time." I'm going to be honest with y'all. When I first saw this, I went, wait, what? I'm being honest. It was like, I love you, King James, baby. You coming to help the 76ers. I love the Sixers. But to his point, I think it's kind of amazing that he's, to answer the question someone just put in the chat, why is he leaving? Again, he's just signing a new deal. He was kind of done playing at this point. He said, do I really want to do anything else with this game? Again, LeBron is 41, which is not old at all, but you're also playing with people who are like 20 years younger than you, and especially in some institutions like modeling, like anything that's really physical, they're looking for the next young thing. Even looking at Michael Jordan, who is in his early 60s. He's still the GOAT in many people's eyes, but you have a lot of people who are not, I'm not going to say competing for that position, but you also have the LeBrons, the Steph Currys, even the late, great Black Mamba himself. Kobe Bryant, we love you. We miss you. You were amazing, and you are was such a visionary. Love and light to you, sir. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that I have to, after sitting and thinking about it, I said, okay, he's come out and said it outright. I want to help the 76ers become a championship team. The reason I've really admired LeBron all these years is not just because he is such a he's so dedicated to his craft. If you ever look at his schedule, if you ever look at his routine, his training routine, it's not just him, trying to make dunks and get photo ops. I think he's much past that at this point in his career, quite frankly. But he really takes what he does very seriously. He's quite disciplined. And I have to respect that he said, you know, I'm going to do this one more time. Again, there's a difference between let me go back a little bit. There's a big difference between $8 million and $53 million. That's a little over 5 times what you'd be making. So for him to say outright, I'm not doing this for the money or the family. I'm doing this because I want to help this team make it to the championships. Hey, I'm not mad. I'll take it. Like I said, initially I was a little like, okay, that's take a tea break, Amber, be quiet. But at the same time, it really kind of shocked me. So, King James, welcome to Philadelphia, sir. Really, you are definitely going to make yourself at home here because you're coming with a mission. And so, congratulations to you. May this season be what you want it to be, which is a winning season. And we will see how this goes, AmFam. Yes, because you know I'm going to keep y'all on point. Holla. Another thing that kind of surprised me this week, AmFam, actually kind of broke my teacher's heart, was a happening that happened at Howard. HU, I am not an HU grad, but whenever I hear it, I just can't get the late, great Chadwick Boseman saying HU, out of my head. But again, for those of you who do not know, according to an article from the Associated Press, 502 students lose their spot at Howard University over tuition payments just weeks before classes start. And again, this is from that article. They actually cite a young person named Azariah Miles. Dream of attending Howard University was a few weeks before being realized. Then it all came crashing down. Miles, 17, of Knoxville, Tennessee, is one of more than 500 incoming first-year students at Howard who learned this week that they have been unenrolled from the prestigious historical Black Washington, D.C. University and no longer have spots for the upcoming fall semester that begins August the 17th. Many have taken to social media, some in tears, and yes, I've reposted quite a few of those videos myself to share those stories. Some posts have gone viral. After Miles learned that she had been unenrolled, her mother, Kendra Miles, said that the school's automated system would not allow the family to enroll in a payment plan because the amount that was owed made them ineligible to sign up. I'm going to read that again. Her mother, Kendra Miles, said the school's automated system would not allow the family to enroll in a payment plan because the amount that was owed made them ineligible to sign up. And again, I did post this video on my social. She said, quote, I've reached out since we got the email Wednesday. I've emailed literally everybody. I emailed her advisor. He responded and said it wasn't a mistake and there was nothing that they could do. Now, what I will say is that, actually it's here. On Friday, Howard University confirmed in an email that the school sent notifications to 502 first-time in-college students whose accounts did not reflect the required enrollment and financial obligations by the previously communicated deadlines. So long short of it, it seems like, I'm not going to say it's like there's a bit of miscommunication here because I think there is quite a bit of miscommunication here. But what I will also say, my dears, is that again, actually, Howard's also come out to say that they're going to start looking at these at this issue on a case-by-case basis. So they're going to go through over 500 different people who've had this issue before the school year begins on August the 17th. That's a considerable amount of time. It's not a whole lot of time. And so, again, to this point in the comments, HBCUs, historical Black colleges and universities, really do need a lot of support. I could go into a whole rant about that right now. But again, you have schools that were created historically because, unfortunately, Black folk were not able to go other places, and the pride therein needs to be celebrated and respected. And so when I saw that, it really kind of broke my heart, like, oh, man. Especially for the incoming children where you're going to an HBCU. Again, for anyone else who, well, for those of y'all who don't know this, my favorite TV show of all time, not that's still on TV right now, but like that has since ended, is A Different World. Cosby Show spinoff. I could watch the show for the rest of my life. I love, love, love that show. And for those of you who know that in the late 80s, early 90s, when it was actually being broadcast on television, there was such a spike in enrollment in HBCUs, so on and so forth. And there's also going to be a reboot on Netflix next month. Yes. Woohoo! But all of that to say that that kind of pride really is important to embrace. So I really do hope that Howard University gets this taken care of. Again, not a whole lot of time, but a window. And again, when it's made national news, it might accelerate just how quickly this gets done. So best wishes to Howard. I really do hope that this is taken care of very, 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 very soon. And another thing that needs to be taken care of very, 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 very soon is more information regarding young 18-year-old Nolan Wells, who was laid to rest this week. And again, as we all know, investigations regarding the details of his death at a Mississippi island on July 4th are still ongoing. The initial autopsy report did state that it was inconclusive how he passed. And this is according to an article on CNN.com. It couldn't determine why a Mississippi teenager was found dead in waters off the Mississippi coast after a 4th of July boating trip with his friends. But the keenly awaited results of a state autopsy conducted earlier this month could lend some clues. It's safe to say that people are still watching this very closely, as they should be. And the question this is hard. But the question I have for us as a community is, especially as the school year starts, what kind of talks do we have with our kids? How do we make sure, honey, make sure that you watch where you're going as you're crossing the street. Stuff that we know, but you know, we've all kind of been on a hype this summer. And again, the school year doesn't start for another couple of weeks. But at the end of the day, we're getting closer and closer to a time where, even if it kind of got on your nerves, your kids are going to be back in the hands of their teachers. They're no longer going to be in your home. You know, this is the time to remember, get up on time. Make sure that you're aware of what's going on. If you're taking steps to get to school, be prepared. Walk with your friends. Don't always have your earbuds in. Things of that nature. Only because, again, things like this are so tragic. And there are a lot of things to uncover regarding what happened to this young gentleman. He was on a football scholarship. Like, come on. But the long short of it, my dears, is that as we get closer to the school year starting, please remember, as the summer winds down, that we are a very strong community. That we do amazing things and remember to step back for real, and pay attention to what our fellow people, our fellow men are saying. That, again, we covered a couple things this morning. Again, I'm so thankful for each and every one of you who are members of the AmFam, who both know and are learning to know how I like my tea. I encourage each and every one of you to remember to exhale, especially as we're getting more information about things like Nolan Wells, especially as we're getting more information about things like what happened to Howard, especially after some politicians are referring to LeBron James as something that I don't think he is, and I'm going to leave it at that. The bottom long short of it is that you, AmFam, my faithful listeners, my new listeners, are amazing. And as I get more information to share tea with you over every Saturday morning at 8 a.m. Eastern Time, I want you to know I do this not just because I love the AmFam, but because the educator in me wants to remind each of us to continue to speak the truth. It is that time. And the more honest we are about what's happening in the world, the more we get stronger as a community. Keep the tea piping hot, AmFam. Please remember, as I enjoy one more sip of this delicious tea, my dears, I've got you, you've got me, and guess what, honey? In case you missed it, we've got this. Love and light to you all. Peace.